Do you really think the good guys win? That if you work hard, play fair, and treat people right, success will just happen? Look around. The biggest winners in history were ruthless, cutthroat, willing to do whatever it takes. Julius Caesar backstabbed his way to the top, literally. Billionaires buy out competition and call it good business. Politicians, do I even need to explain? Meanwhile, the honest guy, the one who waits his turn and follows the rules, he's the one getting stepped on. So here is the real question. Is morality just a scam for keeping people in line? Is power only for those willing to take it? Nietzsche had an answer, and once you hear it, you will never see the world the same way again. Let's get into it. Chapter number 1, the illusion of fairness and the reality of power. Since childhood, we are told the same story. Be good, work hard, follow the rules. Success will come, but step into the real world and that story shatters. The hardest workers are not the wealthiest. The most honest do not rise to power. The kindest people are often the ones getting crushed. Power does not reward goodness. It rewards those who understand how the game is played. Nietzsche saw this for what it was. He argued that morality is not some universal truth. It is a tool, a set of rules designed to keep people in their place. The powerful do not follow morality. They create it. Look at history. The kings, the emperors, the billionaires. Did they wait patiently for success? Did they sit around hoping fairness would protect them? Or did they take what they wanted while everyone else played by rules they never agreed to? Modern thinkers like Jordan Peterson, Slavoj Žižek, and Byung-Chul Han take this further. They argue that morality is often used as a control mechanism. Society conditions people to feel guilty about ambition, to reject power, to believe that wanting more is selfish. Meanwhile, the elite, the ones who do not hesitate, are already making moves. So here is the real question. If fairness is an illusion, what actually determines who wins? To answer that, we need to look at one of Nietzsche's most controversial ideas, master morality versus slave morality. Chapter number 2, master morality versus slave morality. Why do some people rise while others stay stuck? Why do the ruthless win while the good struggle? Nietzsche believed the answer lies in two competing moral systems, master morality and slave morality. Master morality is the morality of the strong, the rulers, the ones who shape the world instead of waiting for permission. They define their own values. They see power, ambition, and dominance as good. They take responsibility for their fate. They do not seek approval. They do not apologize for strength. Slave morality is the morality of the weak, the conquered, the ones who cannot impose their will, so they glorify obedience and submission. They tell themselves that humility is a virtue, that suffering is noble, that power is evil. But here is the truth. Slave morality was not created to uplift people. It was created to keep them from rising. History proves this. The Roman Empire ruled through strength, celebrating honor and dominance. Christianity flipped the script, preaching meekness and sacrifice. The result? The powerful were shamed into submission, and the weak gained influence by controlling morality itself. This still happens today. Modern society praises victimhood. It tells people to resent success. It convinces them that power is something to fear, not something to master. So what happens? The ones who embrace master morality, the ones who take action without guilt, rise to the top. The ones who live by slave morality, waiting for fairness and justice, are left behind. This is why ruthless people succeed. They refuse to follow rules designed to keep them weak. But does that mean morality itself is a lie? Or is there a way to rise without becoming ruthless? To answer that, we need to look at Nietzsche's ultimate idea, the Übermensch, the one who transcends both weakness and cruelty. Chapter number 3, why ruthless people rise to the top. If morality is designed to control, then who does it benefit? Not the ones who follow it, the ones who create it. The truth is brutal. Ruthless people do not hesitate. They do not wait for permission. They act while others hesitate, manipulate while others trust, and take while others hope. This is not a mistake. It is a pattern. Look at the business world. Steve Jobs was not just a visionary, he was relentless. He fired employees without warning, stole ideas, and crushed competitors. Jeff Bezos built Amazon into a monopoly by undercutting small businesses until they had no choice but to sell or shut down. Elon Musk pushes employees to their limits, ignoring traditional corporate norms to chase his vision at all costs. And the people who hesitate, they get left behind. Psychologists have studied this for decades. The traits that predict success in high-stakes environments are not kindness and fairness. They are high ambition, low fear response, and the ability to act without emotional hesitation. People who rise to power often have a reduced sensitivity to guilt and a stronger drive for dominance. This does not mean they are all psychopaths, but it does mean they think differently. Society conditions most people to fear power, to believe that ambition is greed, that winning is selfish, that wanting more makes you a bad person. Meanwhile, those who reject that mindset are already making moves. This is why the ruthless win. Not because they are better, not because they are smarter, but because they are willing to do what others will not. But here is the paradox. Ruthlessness might get you to the top, but it does not keep you there. History is just as full of tyrants who rose fast and fell even harder. Fear can control people, but it does not create loyalty. Manipulation can win battles, but it does not win wars. So if raw power is not enough, what is? Nietzsche believed that true dominance does not come from cruelty, it comes from something higher. A mindset beyond the endless struggle for control. A person who is not just powerful, but untouchable. This is the Übermensch, the one who rises above both weakness and brutality. Because fear creates power, but it also creates enemies. People will obey a tyrant, but the moment they sense weakness, they will tear them down. So if raw dominance is not enough, what is? Nietzsche believed that true power is not about crushing others. It is about rising above both weakness and cruelty. He called this the Übermensch, the one who does not just play the game, but rewrites the rules entirely. The Übermensch does not live by morality imposed by others. He does not seek validation. He does not hesitate out of guilt or waste energy on revenge. He is not controlled by fear, but he is not ruled by greed either. He creates rather than just conquers. Most powerful figures in history fight endlessly to maintain control, but the Übermensch does not need to. His power is self-generated. He builds something so undeniable that his influence outlasts him. This is a difference between leaders who collapse under their own ambition and those who reshape the world. Steve Jobs was ruthless, but he was also a creator. His vision for Apple was so powerful that even after his death, his influence remains. Meanwhile, countless CEOs rise and fall without leaving anything behind. This is what separates temporary power from lasting dominance. The tyrant rules through fear. The Übermensch rules through undeniable value. But how do you actually embody this? How do you navigate a world that rewards the ruthless without becoming one of them? That is where philosophy becomes strategy. And it all starts with understanding how to master power without letting it consume you. Chapter number 5. How to master power without losing yourself. Power is not evil, it is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used to build or destroy. The question is not whether power corrupts. The question is whether you control power or let it control you. The mistake most people make is believing they only have two choices: be ruthless or be a victim. But there is a third path, one that balances strategy with integrity, one that allows you to compete without losing your soul. Philosophers like Robert Greene, Jordan Peterson, and Nassim Taleb argue that power is not about brute force, it is about control. Control over yourself, over perception, over the way the world reacts to you. Power is not about taking from others, it is about making yourself so strong that you cannot be ignored. Here is how. First, stop expecting fairness. The world does not reward the most deserving. It rewards those who understand how the game is played. If you are waiting for recognition, permission, or justice to elevate you, you will wait forever. The Übermensch does not ask for power, he takes it. But he takes it in a way that builds rather than destroys. Second, understand strategic empathy. The ruthless rise because they know how to manipulate. But manipulation is just a cheap version of something more powerful. True leaders understand people. They anticipate motives. They see through deception. They know when to strike and when to hold back. Robert Greene calls this playing the long game. Power is not just about force, it is about timing. Third, develop controlled ruthlessness. This does not mean cruelty, it means knowing when to act decisively without hesitation or guilt. Sometimes power requires walking away from toxic relationships, making unpopular decisions, or cutting off dead weight. Taleb calls this anti-fragility, the ability to thrive in chaos, to take risks, to embrace discomfort. If you cannot do what is necessary when the moment calls for it, you will always be at the mercy of those who can. Finally, create instead of compete. Most people fight over scraps, chasing titles, money, or influence. The Übermensch does not compete. He builds something so undeniable that others have no choice but to follow. Peterson argues that meaning comes not from power alone, but from building order out of chaos. This is how real influence is made. This is the real key to power. It is not about domination, it is about elevation. If you create something valuable, people will willingly align with you. Influence gained through fear is temporary. Influence gained through creation lasts. So the real question is not whether you can succeed in a world that rewards the ruthless. You absolutely can. But will you do it by playing someone else's game, or will you rewrite the rules on your own terms? Conclusion: the choice is yours. Power is not handed out, it is taken. And history shows that those who take it are rarely the kindest, the most honest, or the most selfless. The ruthless rise because they understand what others refuse to accept. The world is not fair, it never was. Waiting for justice, for recognition, for permission is a losing game. Those who hesitate get left behind. Those who act without guilt, without waiting, without asking, take control. But here is the paradox. Ruthlessness alone is not enough. Those who rely only on force, manipulation, and deception rise fast, but fall even faster. The greatest leaders, the ones who truly last, understand something deeper. Power is not about crushing others. It is about mastering yourself. This is where Nietzsche's Übermensch separates from the ruthless tyrant. The tyrant is a slave to power, constantly fighting to keep it. The Übermensch is above the fight. He does not need validation. He does not live in fear of losing control. His power is self-generated. So the real question is not whether you can succeed in a world that rewards the ruthless. You absolutely can, but at what cost? You can chase power through fear, but fear fades. You can manipulate, but manipulation is fragile. Or you can become undeniable. The choice is yours. Stay trapped in the illusion of fairness, or step outside of it. Wait for the world to hand you what you want, or take it on your own terms. Do you think morality is a weakness, or can power and ethics coexist? Let's discuss. If this changed the way you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more deep dives into philosophy, power, and human psychology